I'm recording.
Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the FaaF podcast, Flats Apart with Si over here. Me, Tom, Griff. Actually, it's Griff and Si. Welcome. Flats Apart.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Si.
Episode 3. God knows if anyone's stuck with us. Don't worry, I'm very loyal to the cause. I will be listening to this whilst washing up or doing a house chore.
Oh,
That's the only time I get to listen to a pod these days, actually. House chores.
not even in the car anymore.
And
like
that's it. No, I don't have we have one car.
Wait, you got rid of your car? You had a van.
Bloody hell, mate, where have you been? Sold that in February. We've been a one-car family since Jan.
Bloody hell.
Saved a lot of money, but it can be a bit of a ball ache, obviously, if we both need... Well, we're never in a situation where we both need a car. It's more, if one is using the car, the other one is stranded. It's that kind of thing, you know?
Well, I guess at the moment with you, it doesn't matter, because if Robin's out and you've got to look after the kids and vice versa.
Exactly,
right?
but... You know, but then it's like, we want to take the kids out, you know, unless it's a nice sunny, warm day, we can go for a walk or whatever, go to the park, it's pissing down. Then
don't lie, you don't go for walks.
I get pushed in the pram, mate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you still going on your bike?
Yeah, I cycle to work once or twice a week. It's a not very long cycle, I admit. It's probably about a mile. It's a mile and a half one way.
All downhill.
Oh,
there and back.
It's not, it's honestly, it's not strenuous. But it's better than nothing, innit?
Yeah. It
frees up the car for Robin, and yeah, it's all right. We won't be a one car family forever. Just for the foreseeable, is what I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't need to drive to work in it.
No, that's fair enough. I don't blame
I just yawned on our own pod. Anyway, episode 3.
Set the tone for this episode.
Me yawning and talking about work. Bloody hell. Well, actually. Not only being carless, I'm actually laptopless. I'm borrowing Robin's Mac. It's just not ideal because she does use it for college work and for volunteering.
So you've been doing a bit. Why have you been? You've been doing your usual wheeling and dealing lately. What have you been? How come you sold your laptop?
Ever since my gaming laptop, and I'm not a gamer, but it was a very powerful laptop I had built about 9.
I just made that up.
No, it wasn't Alienware. I brought a very high-spec laptop about 9 years ago, and about 18 months ago...
Was it an Asda own make UFO-ware?
No, and honestly, I spent about 1,500 quid on it.
Fucking hell.
Right? 1,500 quid 9 years ago. Well, think what with inflation, that laptop built would be another grand on top of that now.
But that didn't... So how long did it last you?
First of all, I brought that in a time I didn't have kids, didn't have a mortgage... So disposable income was a bit better, and I had a really nice MacBook, which I dropped on the floor, and the screen damaged. So I thought, at that point I had it for about 7 years. So I thought, time for a new one. Brought this high spec one that lasted me for about 7 years, 8 years, 7 years.
Okay.
And all that happened was right. One of the ports on the side, I went to put in an Apple iPhone charger, and a big a spark happened, and my laptop essentially blew up, but not in a way of fire and smoke. It just popped, and the electrics went in the house. I thought, bloody hell! And it never switched on after that. So ever since then, I thought, I'm not buying another expensive one, and I must have brought about 4 or 5 laptops in the last 18 months.
Did it have all your stuff on it?
I buy them on eBay. Sorry?
Did it have all your stuff on it?
Yeah, but it was all backed up, thankfully.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, I've been buying cheap crap, and then one or two of them being good, but I thought I just want something a bit better, but I don't want to spend the money. And I go around in circles with it. So the one I sold was perfectly fine, but it's one of those, although it was an HD screen, it's one of those laptops where you had to tilt the screen to get perfect lighting.
Oh my God.
I thought, that's an old projector screen. I don't want...
I had to sit in the dark to work it.
It was a pain in the ass, and the keyboard was just like rubbish. So although the spec was quite good for the value, the price, I bought it from an IT company. I sold it, and anyway, boring topic. But I'm just obsessively looking at. I've been going. Do I have a laptop? Do I have a PC tower? Do I have an all-in-one computer? Do I go back to a laptop again?
You don't want to get a PC standing tower. What's the point? You want a laptop.
But they're good value.
Yeah,
they're not popular anymore. They're gamers' choices, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because
but anyway,
you're not going to be gaming.
I've been round the houses.
You're better off having a laptop. I personally, but
I know. But I do keep changing my mind. I keep going. Well, maybe I'll have an all-in-one, like semi-modern, just a monitor with it all built in. Just they look lush. But
I just have a semi.
I've got a semi on with this one. Oh, blue. Anyway, boring. But that's the other thing I'm obsessively looking. But what I was going to say was on Amazon.
Yeah,
I typed in the spec I want. I basically want a touch screen, OLED screen or similar, like a good screen. That's kind of that's a must.
Why is it going to be touch screen?
Those sorts. Because I've had one for work before, and I found it really useful. And I actually find it useful using a touch screen on a 14-inch screen as well. And those sorts of computers, they're like at least £700 or £800, and I don't want to spend that sort of money. I haven't got that sort of money. Then on Amazon, I come across this brand I've never heard of before called it's not HP or Dell. It's this brand. It's called Moristron. I'll spell it Morostron. Moristron, right? And it's a good. It's got everything I want in a laptop.
Is it a tenner?
But I've never heard. I've gone onto Reddit to see are these legit, and someone put a post saying, anyone bought or has experience with those generic brands, and they've listed Ace Magic, Jumper, Skin, SGIN,
these actual brands,
and this one Moristron,
Skin,
and people basically saying all the ones that are HP, Lenovo, and that stuff don't actually make their own laptops. They have them built by original design manufacturers in China or Taiwan or wherever.
Right.
So basically, they are legit, but it might be a warranty thing where it's like trying to get hold of the manufacturer to fix or repair some might be trickier compared to going to HP. So I'm going to look into it. But anyway, that's so fucking boring to our listeners hearing about laptops.
FaaF. Flats of fun.
I googled ideas to talk about on a podcast because
we are literally scraping the barrel.
Speak about some cool countries or cities. Well, we sort of did that about Lake District in the last step, didn't we?
That's as far as our culture knowledge goes.
Do book or film reviews. Well, we've been reviewing other podcasts.
Yeah. We're not culture enough to read a book.
Make a coaching podcast and teach your audience something. Well, if we had a fucking audience, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Start series of interviews. Do you know what? It says start series of interviews with intriguing guests. Well, we're going to have Alex on, but he's neither intriguing or a guest. Well, he is quite intriguing. He's
quite
joking, Ali, if you listen to this back. But you chose the defeat of Leeds over a pod. You could have drowned your sorrows with us on this podcast, Alex. But Leeds United lost.
Never mind.
I reckon it would have to some extent.
Never mind.
That's the other thing. Alex had a baby since we last did this pod, didn't he? Well, actually, that's episode 3, isn't it?
Well,
but we're recording on the same night.
Born in February.
Oh, right. So that's a load of rubbish, then, isn't it? Sorry. Desperately trying to get topics going to go here. Let's have a look. Oh, I know. Why don't we do... I'll do some true or false stuff for you.
Oh, God.
All right. You tell me if these are true or false. I'll just first of all want to read. The Battle of Hastings took place in 1066.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's right. K is worth 4 points in Scrabble.
I'd say that was false.
It's true.
Ah, shit. What's that then? Like 1, 1, and 2, I suppose.
I can give I really can.
Okay.
Well, I do care because I read them out, but I don't really mind how.
Y's got to be the 2.
ASOS stands for as seen on screen.
Oh, I don't know. False.
It's true.
Oh, bollocks.
How about this one then? The unicorn is the national animal of Scotland.
False.
True.
Are these just all true? Every single one's true.
No. I'm cherry picking them. You see.
Okay.
Fish cannot blink.
True.
Correct. Now, is this drawing anyone in?
I can't hear anyone.
No. I'm going to scrap this idea.
FaaF. Flat as a fart.
Can you tell me your most embarrassing story for our listener?
Oh, fucking hell.
For Stuart.
For me?
Yeah. We've got to make this a bit edgier, this pod. We're losing the
Jesus
listener, if not
Christ.
already.
I have to think. Well, probably nearly getting fired from Argos that time for buying.
What was my question? Most embarrassing?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's that?
Why? What were you going to say?
Well, one Christmas on one snowy day, weren't you trapped somewhere with a girl, and you had to get your family to rescue you?
No, I was on my own. It wasn't near Christmas.
You come back from seeing someone.
No, I was going out.
Right.
It was in the
Would you say you embarrassed or just a bit was out awkward?
It wasn't a pleasant experience. It was bloody stupid driving out to. Where was I driving? I was driving on the.
You're like, I am horny. Anything goes.
Blink that out. This was years ago. This was just after that Beast from the East thing in 2018, was it?
Beast. Oh yeah, Beast. Okay.
And it melted around here,
Right.
and then, it started melting around here, and I started driving out, and then I was driving out, and you kind of noticed the road, the snow was banked onto one side of one road, so one side of the road, so it made the road almost basically a single carriageway. And even that didn't deter me from turning around, which is absolutely nuts. And I was following the sat nav, even though I knew I was kind of going, and but it was taking me a weird route, and I was like, oh, but I best follow this because it must know better. And it took me off a bloody lane, which was just covered in snow, and I still kept going. And then it went into a dip, and then I was stuck. Oh, no. There was a guy. How were you There was a Jeep coming the other way, and he was like, you don't want to go. You don't want to keep going further, mate. You'll get stuck. I was like, oh, great. Can you just make, if I turn around here, do you make sure if I can get out? Can you make sure I can get out? And he said, yeah. And then he waited, and then I drove probably about, I don't know, 20 meters or so, and I got instantly bogged down. I got bogged down trying to get back up. And he pissed off, and he fucking left me there. It's in a lane,
loyal,
in the arse end of nowhere, dark, cold. I luckily just had a signal bar, and I managed to get hold of. Who did I get hold of? Mum or my sister? Anyway, I had a small nephew, one small nephew back then. So, basically, there's a lot of arranging for my sister and her partner to come out and basically
so he towed you?
Stu.
Why did you get a breakdown out?
Because that probably would. I don't know. That probably would have cost me money.
You'd have waited hours, I suppose.
And hours as well. But no bugger. I waited probably a couple of hours there. No bugger came until my sister literally turned up at the top of the hill, and she was like, is somebody else stuck there or something? Is that you on the top? I was like, no. I was, somebody else just got stuck in front of us. I was like, you're kidding. No one's turned up the whole time. And now somebody else has turned up. So,
I thought the twist was that's the bird you were seeing. She was also stuck. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not embarrassing, is it? I mean, they would have said, where were you going?
That was not a nice that wasn't a nice experience. It definitely conjured up some weird anxiety, though. Since it's not.
Yeah.
Well, what's yours?
Any other embarrassing story? Well, I just thought of one then. It's not a big deal.
What,
it's
yours
more
or me?
Mine. It's not like but basically, when I first had Instagram, got Instagram, however many years ago it was, and I didn't know on my phone. I didn't know, you can look at people's like stories. I didn't know that they can see that who's looked at them.
Right.
And I told Robin this, sorry, so I know it's full disclosure. And I looked, one of my exes was on there, so I thought I'm going to see what you're up to. And I did this quite a few times with other people, but I didn't follow her. I just thought, I wonder what you're doing, eh? I told Robin this, full disclosure. She laughed. It's again no big deal. I'm bigging it up here.
Yeah, Robin's
and obviously
so chill,
I realised
anyway. Horizontal anyway, isn't she? I said Robin's so chill about stuff anyway that she's quite horizontal about that kind of stuff.
Well, I've obviously said so. Obviously, I realised that this ex would have said, "What is this idiot? Why is he?" Would have looked a bit creepy or weird. But I was just being nosy, like I probably have been to several other accounts. So that was embarrassing. Thinking, oh no! So I blocked her, and she's remained blocked. I thought that's like because I hadn't spoken to her for years. I'll bleep out the name, but
right,
because she's got quite a big account. She does like videos and stuff, and that's it really. But that was quite embarrassing, but no big deal. It's just a little bit. Oh, you look a bit sad looking at But Robin has got a good sense of humour. She got it. It's funny.
Yeah.
There must be something else embarrassing. There must have been.
Well, it's hard to think shit out of the blue, though, isn't there?
I need to think about this.
I can think of one of you that's very fucking funny though. It's probably one of the funniest moments. Is
it the bog roll one?
Yeah. That's pretty. I don't know if it was embarrassing for you, but it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, it was embarrassing. I mean, you can say it if you want.
What, the whole story? It's not. The thing is, when you recount stories like this, they never come off anywhere near.
No.
Like hilarious or
Yeah. Well, we don't have to tell these stories like they're funny, but people might. Stuart might empathise.
Stuart. But we might. It's just the irony that we went to see a comedy show and we went to see Lee Mack.
Yeah.
When the hell was this? 2010
with Alex.
Yeah, with
Alex. It would have been around then. Yeah.
That was quite an eventful night actually, wasn't it? Because he got pulled over for speeding on the way back.
Did you? Who did?
He did. We were in the car and going on the road, and I could see the copper stood out a mile away. I was like, "Is he going to slow down or not?" And he didn't. Do
you remember? Oh God, sorry, just to go off topic, but when you were driving, didn't you get?
I got pulled over.
I got called. Yeah, and Alex panicking. Alex panicking went. Yeah. His dad's a mechanic.
As if that's going to.
Don't worry, copper. His dad, he works in a garage, mate. So it's like that has no bearing on anything. Anyway, sorry. Back to it. I had you got pulled up, but I had the gut's ache. That's where the root cause of the story is. I had bad guts.
Diff. You used to have ball ache or guts ache. One of the two.
Ball ache or guts ache. Yeah.
So yeah, you had gone to the bog.
It was the Hippodrome in Bristol, wasn't it?
I don't know. I couldn't even remember that, to be fair. We were in the lobby, weren't we? I just remember being in like a bar area, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then you
stood right in the corner.
Stood in the corner at the back.
You got to remember, I went to the pub next door to this place. I went through a busy pub. I went to the toilet, came out through the busy pub, went into the not the auditorium, but it's in the bar area. He's laughing. He's doing a silent laugh, everyone. And I sat. I stood with my back to like the whole bar in the theatre. Then you and Alex then looked down and noticed something dangling.
You were basically, we were stood on line, weren't we? And you were in the front of the line almost, but we weren't looking. We couldn't see behind you. It was only until they announced that we could go into the theatre area, and you turned round, and there's me and Alex following you behind. And as soon as we saw it, we just turned back. We saw this tail of tissue coming out the top of your trousers.
A 6 foot long bit of bog roll. And I always have to clear this up. I did clear it. It wasn't the toilet roll I used to wipe my ass. It was that thing where sitting in a public toilet, I learned to put toilet roll on the seat to sit on the toilet roll, I got that idea from our mate Jamie, which I'm sure it wasn't his idea, but he first told me about it. And put toilet roll down so you get no splashbacks. Toilet roll on the actual seat. Did my business. And then I obviously pulled my trousers and boxers up, and it caught the edge of the clean bog roll. Then, of course, I had a flappy tail sticking out, which the whole pub would have seen, and the bar people. And obviously, through sheer panic, I grabbed it, didn't I, and pretended to blow my nose with it. And I realised, that bog roll, that's been on the bog seat. I just wiped that. God knows what disease I've just given myself here. So that was embarrassing. It was very funny, though, because I saw the funny side of it. Man. And obviously, when Lee Mack cracked a joke, we could let out our organic laugh because I was still thinking of it.
It was just one of those things where me and Alex just had to go back to the side, and I just remember we both had our head in our arms, just fucking, and you're going, stop laughing. That's all I could hear in the side of my left. Stop laughing.
Shut up. Yeah. But I watched a Family Guy episode years later. Peter, if you know Family Guy, Peter Griffin, the same gag. He went to the toilets, came out.
Well, he didn't do it as a gag, though.
No, he was just being stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was embarrassing. Quite funny.
The other funny moment was when me and you blocked the. Even though I didn't go for a shit. I think. Me and you blocked Alex's parents' toilet up one year, wasn't it? This was back at school.
That must have been 2000.
2001.
Yeah.
We were around his, and then you'd gone for a shit. I'd gone to the toilet.
Well, we both used the cars, didn't we? You were the straw that broke the camel's back.
I accidentally dropped, I think,
a camel.
Either Karis or his mum had a ring on the top of the basin, and it fell in the toilet.
A ring? Yeah, there was a ring, and he I
had to somehow get that back out, and then you went to the toilet and blocked the toilet.
No, I didn't block it.
I swear you did.
That was definitely you, because Alex went directly towards you. He said, "Oh, you twat, man! Oh, you twat!" And he was panicking.
I thought you said it to you.
No, he said it to you. Well, Alex might be able to verify. If you turned up this pod, he'd be able to verify, wouldn't he?
Well, maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, glorious times. I mean, I just wonder if Stuart's going to care about these anecdotes. It's supposed to be. Well, no, I'm sure he won't, but I think we've spoke about the premise of the pod, and we had a bit of feedback from one or two people, Alex mainly. He said, you need an idea, you need a premise. So, well,
I've said that.
The idea premise is organic, unplanned. You know, did you ever watch Bad? But you probably know you did. I know the answer to this, but like Baddiel and Skinner Unplanned from about 20 years ago, where they basically sat on a sofa in front of a live audience. They just spoke about anything, but they got the profile to do that because they're comedians and they can ad lib, whereas we're not that.
No,
but talking about the old times, it might spark memories for any listeners who encountered similar, and they might go, "Oh yeah, that sort of happened to me when I was young and naive." There must be any other embarrassing stories.
Everything always seems more funnier and more I don't know, fun. Looking back at old kind of times, isn't it? In a way.
FaaF. Flat as a fart.
Here's a question for you. Do you think the world would be a better place without social media? Overall, it's good and bad, but would generally the
vibe
would be better?
Health would be better without social media.
Yeah. I know that the argument is, people can reach out to organisations better through social media, but it's a lot of, and I'm mixed up. I get mixed up in it. You get wound up by seeing copious amounts of drivel spouted online, and you yourself can become quite hateful of stuff, and you think, don't waste my energy on this.
Yeah,
but I honestly think if it was completely removed, go back to old-fashioned websites. Chat rooms so you can still interact. I think that would work.
Yeah,
but I
think there's an element of people like having to make their lives look amazing and stuff online, which I don't have any interest in at all.
Yeah,
I just post random
desperate
shit
to get
nice
that
pictures.
impression.
Yeah, I just post random stuff or nice pictures I take if I'm out and about. But what was I going to say? Shit, I was going to say something then.
But then again, I don't know how
I'll tell you what,
podcasting will work without social media.
Twitter or X or whatever it is now, that's just a cesspit of like absolute toxicity.
It is. It's so bad.
Absolutely awful. Like, sometimes you can get sucked into it, especially because I'm into F1, and you read some of the stuff people write. I'm just like, bloody hell. And you feel like you're compelled to almost, and then you're almost adding to it. But I try and always, if I reply to something, I try and use facts, or with some kind of substance, or something to back it up. But I never like nasty or anything.
I saw this Instagram reel of someone showing what my MSN Messenger was like, and I thought, oh my god, that was good. I like that.
What, you like
just
little MSN Messenger?
MSN Messenger. But I mean, I used that every day, I reckon.
Yeah, we would go to school or college and then go home for an evening and
the whole
log
night
on to
from about
MSN Messenger.
From 7 to 11 was. I mean, it's the modern equivalent is WhatsApp, obviously, isn't it? But that was our WhatsApp, I suppose.
Yeah, it was just different, wasn't it? Because it was new. It was new, wasn't it? Talking to anyone. Oh my god, you can talk to somebody on like miles away. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. It's bloody good.
I just remember like having conversations with Ian, obviously, and you just have your webcam on. Like what we do?
Well, you did, didn't you? You just have it on all night, wouldn't you?
It was weird. It's just weird.
I wish some of that was recorded because I'd love to see those images back of you just sat there with the bloody
images of me.
Your mum and dad coming and saying, "Come on, you got to get off that now."
Then there was nights of like I don't know if you. I thought you just went. I thought you just shouted, "See ya."
No, I was mimicking what your mum or dad would have said in the background on your webcam.
I thought Robin just came in. See ya, yeah. No, there was the I don't know if you got involved with it that much, like but Inklink and stuff, playing Inklink.
Oh, I did Inklink.
Yeah, that was always that was a novelty.
Inklink. Does anyone know? Does the Stuart know what Inklink was?
God knows.
Inklink, Stuart, in case you weren't aware, was an interactive drawing game. You had so many seconds to draw something, and then people had to guess it. The first one to guess what it was.
Wasn't it? It was just Pictionary.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was
quite relaxing.
Yeah, the music as well.
Anyway, those are the days. I mean, that's probably considered quite modern, even for generations older than us who never have had that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I never. But that's
But I got into that. I felt like I got into that quite later than you because I remember you always going about MSN, like when we were in school.
Great. I must have been year 10 or year 11 when I was introduced to it from Graham. Yeah, we went to school with Graham.
So that would have been like, what would that have been? Because we were
2001.
2001. Was it? Yeah.
2002.
Yeah. That sounds about. Yeah, that would sound right actually. Yeah, definitely 2002 because that's when we left school, and I remember that summer, that summer was immense. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. Why did I talk about that the other day? 2002 summer.
2002 was good because we finished school and we were going into college.
Oh, American Pie 2. That's why. That bloody film reminds me of that summer.
Oh, yeah.
Does it not you?
Yeah. No, but if I watch
I'll tell you
American
another
Pie,
story.
I do think of our schooling.
Yeah, around that time. Us fucking randomly buying me, you and Alex again, buying a swimming pool in Argos, going back to your old parents' house, and filling it up, but obviously because the water's so cold, boiling a kettle.
I forgot about this. I scolded you, didn't I?
I scolded myself. I had the kettle and I was pouring it on my knee. I didn't realise until because it was so hot. Because it was so hot,
it blistered, didn't it?
Yeah, it blistered instantly. And you guys were going, no, don't run it under cold water. I was like, yeah, you got to run it under cold water.
I would have said that. Alex would have come up with some smart ass reason why not to put cold water on a burn.
I had to go to casualty for that. I remember.
Yeah, bloody hell.
But that was fun.
Yeah. Anyway, So how would podcasting work without social? Because if I didn't have a Twitter account or anything to promote it, I'd have to rely on people finding the pod by fluke. Whereas on Twitter, I can put hashtags and stuff, and people might find, or I could just gate crash at a thread about comedy and go, "Oh, one for the grave," whatever, and someone follows it. But I don't know. I would think it'd be a really good thing if all social media was just taken down.
Yeah, well,
Whether that helps the pod or not.
they all just turn to shit. I mean, Instagram used to be quite an artsy niche kind of app, really, wasn't it? I remember going on it.
It's just websites. Just people have their own websites you can visit.
Yeah.
Here's my website, my pictures, if you want to look at it.
Yeah, but like it used to definitely.
But do you know Facebook? I'm sorry.
I just saying, I remember going on Instagram, and I only went on it for about 3 weeks in 2012, and it was it was more of an arty kind of like photography app. And then the next thing I know, I rejoined it in 2018 or something, because everyone started going on it, and it was like, oh, this is just turned into a generic fucking social media app now. Isn't
the premise? I was just about to say Facebook. When I first joined Facebook, you were limited to. I'm sure you were limited to how many statuses you could have a day.
Oh, I don't know. You were on that before me,
or a week.
You're on them all before me.
But what I was going to say was,
my MySpace profile's still fucking out there. I expect somewhere. I don't know what's going on.
I can't get my head around people having to sort of, and everyone does it, and I've done it over the years. I like to think I don't do it so much now. Obviously, the point of social media for a lot of people is to say, "This is what I'm doing. Hi, this is what I'm doing. I'm here." I just think, yeah. As I get older, I really don't see the point. Like, I don't have to look at it. I know, but they go, "Look, here's me with a glass of wine with this lovely sunset."
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And look, I've just decided to. I just don't know. This look, I'm here. Look, you tell your close friends and family this is where
bragging,
you go,
isn't it? That's what it is. A lot of it.
It's giving the illusion that your life's perfect, but probably.
But that's the problem with social media, isn't it?
Did you ever watch Grumpy Old Men on the telly? It's got a series called Grumpy Old Men. I think this is what this is, isn't it? Probably. I guess we're
getting to that
we're not old, are we? But we're getting there.
Getting to middle age. That's quite scary. That's a scary thought. Fuck.
What age range is middle age? Mid-40s onwards? Is it 50? 45, 50?
I guess that's middle age, isn't it? Like, really? 40.
Wait 100. Or average age is what? Average age of death is 82, 83. So technically 40, 41 is middle age. But when you hear about people talk about middle-aged people, I picture older people in their 60s. Or you're looking at getting a bit middle-aged. It's like,
do you?
I don't know. Well,
I don't know.
That's what society seems to paint the picture, that middle age, like not old and wrinkly as such, but visibly you look quite old, and you go, I don't know. Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Long day.
Anyway, so what were we talking about before I said ban social media? Anyway, it's just impossible to ever. World governments would have to ban it, wouldn't they? You're never going to escape. I did go for many, many years for not having social media, and I decided, despite everything I just said, I re-signed up to Facebook.
Yeah, why did you do that?
I think I started to. Okay, this is where the other side of me says about the positives of social media, obviously, but because I had one foot, the podcast has a Facebook. And over the last 4 years, I've met a few friends through the pod, and I was following them. And my own family and a couple friends, I'd started to just like automatically interact with on Facebook. And I realised I just wanted my own personal one again, but more laying low. Because the only thing I put on my Facebook is the death of Fly and my Fools and Horses trip, and that's all I've said. And I've interacted with Robin's family. Got like a Facebook group, private messenger thing, so I'm in that again. So I didn't need to rejoin it, but I did, obviously. Don't have Instagram or or such like, so or personal Twitter. So I did join the Facebook one. I guess it's to be nosy. I got to hold my hands up. Maybe I'm being nosy. Maybe I want to see what my family are up to. Cousins, uncle, I never see.
I don't really
maybe
go
I want to keep in touch.
I don't really go. I just use it to kind of keep in touch with like people like Tom, like people I used to be in a band with that aren't in the area anymore. I guess that's literally all I kind of use it for. I don't even use it. In fact, it's
I had my phone sent off for repair, and in that 2 weeks, I realised that society doesn't. Corporations, should I say, if you're trying to log into places, they assume you've got a phone to verify your two-step authenticate.
Yeah.
And a lot of them won't give you an alternative to like have it emailed instead. So you know what I mean? You log in into eBay, so just to check it's you, confirm it's you on our app or on a text message. So I haven't got that. What? There's no alternative here, but in some instances, it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shite. So it was they had it for 2 weeks.
Well, it was just under. They said they had to allow 10 business days, and that doesn't include weekends, of course. And so I got it back on the 9th day.
What was wrong with it?
Just the charging port was knackered, so they replaced it, and they replaced the battery and did a software upgrade, and it's a beauty now, mate. It's like a new phone again. It's really good. Anyway, yeah. So I was phoneless and I'm now laptopless. So really, am stepping back into the past with technology. Not having technology. But my dad doesn't have a phone.
Doesn't he?
He has a laptop, but certainly doesn't have social media. He seems happy enough.
It does kind of consume a lot of people. It is easy to get drawn in on with it. Annoyingly.
I am guilty of spending hours what they call doom scrolling.
Yeah, I think everyone is.
So on YouTube and Instagram, you just have those quick videos. You just scroll. There's no adverts. Well, sometimes there is. You just scroll. It's just algorithms showing you anything and everything that you've ever spoken about or watched.
Yeah.
And most of mine are food and sketches.
You don't have TikTok, though,
the people making stuff. I have TikTok for the pod, one for the podcast, but I don't. Yeah, and I thought this is the way to get more listeners. All the youngsters are on TikTok.
All the youngsters ain't going to know what 1 foot in the grave is. That's the thing.
But what my thinking was, youngsters seem to discover old stuff and they'll repost it on TikTok and make it massive. So I keep getting 1 foot in the grave TikTok clips,
right?
And it's got like loads of views. I thought that will be viewed, surely by a young demographic of listener or viewer, and they might get into it. Then they might go, "Is there a podcast for that?" and so on. But I never got anywhere with it. I got about 15 followers.
That's one thing I'm not going to get is TikTok.
I don't have a personal account for it, and it's a bit overbearing for me. I'm just looking now. I've got 30 followers. I just look at my numbers for it. So I got 5,000 views on one of Victor Meldridge's final scenes.
Yeah,
but most of it, I've got 1,000 here, 12. But anyway, I don't think it's about followers now. This is the other thing. Having followers doesn't mean anything. It's actually views.
On what? Anything?
And views. I think it generates. If you get like.
What? Anything?
I know with YouTube, if you have like millions of subscribers, that's one thing. But if you generate like millions of views, that generates like revenue, I think. I mean, very unlikely to ever get to that. But that was my dream with TikTok. It was like, what are you doing there?
Showing you my views on my latest video on my YouTube.
How are you getting on?
I'll tell you one thing. You get way more views with shorts than you do with like full, even if the video's like.
Well, this is how I think people moved on from looking at random YouTube videos like that are
it depends on
full videos with adverts.
It really depends on whether YouTube pushed the algorithm, pushed the video. I've got a few on. What's my most viewed? It's like 8,000. Like my actual, the actual video, not a short. It's an actual video. I think it's 8,000. Hang on.
Oh,
No,
right.
it's 9.1. What 9.1 thousand? Oh shit, that's good.
Well done. Is that your drumming video?
Well, yeah, one of them. Yeah, I don't know why that one. I don't know why that one gets. Why that one gets shown. I don't get it. Some of my shorts have got 3,000 to 2,000, but it really depends. I don't know what it depends on, but some of them just seem to catch on more than others.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's hard. Like, I'm proud of what I've accomplished with One from the Pod, but I feel like as a comedy, it deserves more through my medium of podcasting. I just think I just think with Richard Wilson and that I'll be on, if more fans knew, but I think they'd be intrigued to hear him. And I think in my head, I'd get X amount more followers. It just didn't happen. But I think you have to invest in it, but you have to advertise it to some extent for it to be noticed.
Oh yeah, because otherwise no one's going to know about it. How are they going to know about it if you don't shout?
You got hope.
Anything,
yeah. Don't get me wrong. He did better than an average released episode. I just think it's Richard Wilson. If you're one for a comedy fan, you want to listen.
Your specific.
Yeah, but I'm on about me now. Just a bit self-indulgent.
What about me?
Well, my pod. I want it. Yeah. I mean, I'm great. Officer. I always say very grateful for who listens. But if I was into a comedy pod, and a comedy legend was on there, I'd be listening to it if I could find it. You know, there might be one out there now that I'm not aware of. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, people forget about comedy. I know it's comedies like that, like the general people. Whenever I explain, like, my mate does a podcast. Oh, well, what's that on? One Foot in the Grave. Do you remember that? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, the people. Yeah, it's a cult thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cult following. I've got my theories. Apart from I could be more professional and have a better setup. Apart from that, I just think about people who were watching One Foot in the Grave in the 1990s. I bet they were 40 and over, or average. 35, 40 and over.
I guess they would be. Well, they had to be. Yeah.
And
it was in when did it start? Early 90s.
1990 to 2000. And when you think social media started to become more prominent in the mid to late noughties, say my podcast started back then. People who are watching it are probably not bothered about internet or social media yet. And they certainly, podcasting, what's that? Podcasting is massive, but at the same time, people barely know what it is. What do you mean? What's a podcast? I have to explain it. It's also a radio show, but it's not necessarily live. That's the best way I could describe it.
It is not a thing, isn't it? Like how it's quite a simple. It is quite a simple thing. It's just two people talking, and that's it, basically.
I tell you what, I do not know how people podcasted before, like Zoom and that.
Hang on. So does this recording on Zoom record the video as well?
Yeah.
Oh, can you send me the clip video?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
FaaF. Flat as a fart.
When I did the Jolly Boys pod, if we had a guest on, we'd hold a phone up to the mic on loudspeaker, and it was obviously not great. We didn't know any better. Lockdown seemed to bring about Zoom. I never heard of Zoom and that sort of stuff before then.
Right.
But before 2020, for about 18 months, we did a Fools and Horses pod, and if we did have a guest on, we just have them on a mobile phone on loudspeaker, and we hold up against the mic.
Oh, Jesus.
And we were in the same room recording it. I didn't know, how did podcasts been around for years? I don't know how guests or like co-hosts did it.
Yeah.
Unless if they weren't in the same room. I don't know what software they used. Obviously there was something out there. Discord or whatever it is. So
is your brother still doing his podcast?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, they did a live one, didn't he? He was actually live in a theatre.
What the bloody hell? How did he keeps that quiet? I mean, I don't speak to your brother much these days.
So, Tony Hancock. If you're a fan of Tony Hancock's Half Hour, then listen to very nearly an armful podcast.
How did he get involved in that?
when I started 1 Foot Pod, he said I quite like to go it alone and do one on Hancock's half hour. But then he thought, actually, I want to run it by the Tony Hancock Appreciation Society that have been going for about 60 years.
Right.
I think he wanted their blessing. And they said, actually, we've been thinking of doing a podcast as well. Do you want to come aboard? So he's kind of quite jammy in the respect that, first of all, they probably have good numbers because they've got members all around the world, quite a large amount of members, and they advertise all the time to their paying members. Right. And secondly, he hasn't got to do any editing, which I think is the biggest, jammiest element. He hasn't got any of his pods.
Lucky, yeah.
One of them does that quite well.
So we got.
But they had
definitely get somebody else. I know Alex has bailed on us tonight.
I can see the benefit of having a third guest on to help us come up with stuff to talk about.
We could get anyone on. I mean, I was speaking to Jay last night actually.
Yeah.
Jay would probably
friend of the pod, Jay.
Alex would.
Yeah.
If he's in a good mood. And your brother
any other
would,
friends, have we?
If James ain't. If James ain't working.
Yeah, James. Yeah, Jim would be good to come on. Yeah. He'd be good. He's on holiday at the minute in Pembrokeshire, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, should we call that a night for episode 3?
Yeah. What's that been, like 47 minutes?
Yeah, I think ideally we keep them down to up to 45.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
FaaF. Flat as a fart.
That's us for another episode. It's been a lot of drivel, but finding our feet still.
Drivel.
We'll get another guest on. Yeah. Had fun, Si?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, just need a. We just need a. It will be better finding kind of a bit more structure.
We'll do one in person. We'll try and find a Saturday in person soon, but I think the bulk of them will be Zoom, which is better than nothing.
Fine.
But
I think we could do. Yeah, we could do that with like guests. If we can book some people, as if they're fucking like
book a guest that no one else knows about, but the dynamics will change. Yeah. All right. Well, cheers. Good night.
Oh, was that it? That's a really quick ending.
Well,
right. Okay. Cheers. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.